What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. I'm still considering. I'm still in my consideration period. This is skincare. It was submitted for my consideration. It was submitted without audio description. I actually wanted to see this movie. It's an IFC film. It hadn't even dropped yet on AMC Plus, where it won't have audio description. It's going to take forever for it to get to Hulu, where it might have audio, so I just went ahead and rented it. And this stars Elizabeth Banks. She plays sort of she owns like what do I want to call it? You know what? I don't really know because I don't go to these. I'm just going to use the general term like day spa, but I'm sure there's like a more specific way of calling what she does. But she owns a place where people can go in and they get sort of their skin cared for, because the movie's called Skincare. Anyway, she deals with the stress and drama in her life of there's a new guy who opens up a very similar place to hers, Angel, and he's maybe challenging her for competition, challenging her for status, maybe pulling some competition. At the same time, she's also getting these really weird fucking emails, like really, really weird emails. She's clearly got some sort of like insane stalker person that's going on in her life, and all these things converge in a film that I'm fairly certain is under the Shutter brand, but it might just be IFC. But it could work for either. It's got a decent supporting cast to it. MJ Rodriguez, I always enjoy seeing her in literally anything. And Nathan Fillion shows up here for a hot second. His scene was fun. He's got this scene that I was like, oh man, I like it when you play good guys. Damn. But you're good at doing this, whatever. And there's also like Eric Palladino. I felt like was a big swing. I was like, wow, I haven't seen him in forever. Where's Eric Palladino been? So sort of an interesting little cast full of people. But really, this is Elizabeth Banks's story. She just kind of takes hold of it and runs with it. It's got a little bit of that manic energy that she's usually really good at it, at putting the smile on and being genial to a point, being, I'm very happy, chipper, upbeat, but don't fuck with me, she kind of does that pretty well. And I really enjoyed her work in Call Jane. I think Elizabeth Banks has definitely been expanding herself more and more as an actress. Uh, she might eventually get an Oscar if she's not going to be for this. This isn't going to be on anybody's radar, but it's a perfectly fine independent film this year that IFC has released. I didn't have any problems with it. I thought it was pretty engaging. I thought there was a lot happening. The audio description is pretty good. It's done by Audio Eyes. And they love to do this thing. They did it in Cuckoo too, where because they've been describing a lot of not Cuckoo, Oddity. Sorry, Oddity. They did an Oddity where there was this moment where it climaxed and the narrator had been kind of flat and was just kind of talking to you like I am, and then just oh my god started. It just like went up, and that happens here too. There's a moment where our narrator is just talking. He's just doing the narrator, and then there's like a point of action that happens, and he's like, and then it's like, oh my god! I'm like, okay, rising tension. I get it. Thank you for underscoring it. Yeah, he just kind of like his voice gets much more like he himself, like he has never seen the movie before as he's reading the narration, and he himself is surprised by the action that's happening. So, I don't mind performative audio description. I just think it's kind of funny when all it is just used sparingly, for these blips of high action, I guess you could say, intensity, growing intensity uh, would be the thing. So, in a year in which beauty has been on display in an odd way for the substance, I feel like skincare is just sort of getting shelved, pushed to the side, because anything that it has to say is not nearly what the substance has to say. So, skincare just kind of picked the wrong year. Every once in a while, you see that where there are films that are like similarly themed. One of them gets the profile and the other one doesn't. One of them is like ends up being like more profound, and you're like, oh wow, what happened to the other one? I don't know. Were they kind of about? They were kind of about the same thing. I just don't know what happened to it. It's gone. It just vanished. So, um, but yeah, this is a perfectly fine movie. It didn't rock my world. I don't know if I'm going to be considering it for anything, but I'm a fan of the cast. I really have been enjoying Elizabeth Banks's work. I've always loved Nathan Fillion. I still watch The Rookie. It's a network show, and I'm in like season whatever with that show. MJ I thought was fantastic on Pose. I love that she's on Loot. So I'm rooting for her to continue to get offered roles. This is really kind of a nothing role for her. I gotta be honest. Like in terms of like the grand scale of MJ Rodriguez performances, she's just kind of like in the cast. It doesn't really. Nathan Fillion at least has a scene where you kind of go, that was something. But yeah, MJ's just not really. So check out skincare. You probably would want to do this with audio description because it gets kind of twisty and a little weird. And it evolves as the movie progresses. Arguably, it seems like maybe a bit too much was happening. Like, I think the strongest sort of battle is between, Elizabeth Banks's character and this angel. She's sort of the established store, and this new kid on the block comes in, and that usually works well enough as its own. And then Skincare's like, but what if also she had a stalker? And it's like, I guess, but I feel like that could also be its own movie, and then you don't need Angel's character. So I feel like you have two movies here, and you tried to make one out of them, and it kind of works. So I'm going to give Skincare a B. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.